Okay, good afternoon, everybody. It is October 5th, Tuesday. It's 1:06 p.m. This is a regular meeting of the Board of Commissioners, punted from yesterday, Monday, as it was an observed holiday for the county. And let's see, it's 1:06 and we will get going. And first thing on our agenda is approval of the agenda.
I don't think that I have any movement of things. Is the contract work with Mike Conlin for the continuation of the Crossroads Trail still appropriate to keep on there?
I think so, just to do a formality, and I was going to mention just a little bit on kind of creating a little bit of efficiency in that process, but we don't have that signed or complete yet. But I think I'll ask that we approve that pending like final legal review.
Okay.
If that's okay.
Okay.
Because we approve the scope of that work.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, I just want to make sure we're good.
Yeah.
I don't have any other questions.
Okay.
No, straightforward to me.
All right.
I will make a motion that we approve the agenda.
Okay. Assuming no further discussion.
No, thank you.
Okay. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Great.
Aye.
They both said aye. All right. Moving on to community informational items. Commissioner Fiedler. Anything for us?
None from me.
All right. Commissioner Marcella.
Sure. I'll just give a quick brief update on the opioids that's being done. So I've been sitting in on the task force with the region that we're in, which is similar to the 5th Judicial District, but it includes Garfield County, Eagle County, Lake, Summit, and I think Gilpin, in that regional task force for the opioid settlement. Summit County government applied for and was awarded a grant for technical assistance for the opioid settlement, because we'll get that settlement over the course of the next 18 years. And so the facilitator and the technical assistance grant will assist us as a region to give that money out appropriately within the region. And so our next step is to put an RFP out for that facilitator, and we're anticipating the RFP to be ready this week. Our stakeholder group will look at that RFP and then put that out, and then we'll convene to go through the proposals that we've received for the facilitator and select the most qualified one together as a group, as a region. And so our next step, kind of in tandem while this work is going on with this proposal being out, is to convene a local stakeholder group based on that MOU and determine who we want to sit on the panel at the region and be the vote for our local stakeholder group. And then it's kind of like a liaison role. So we'll take information from the local group to the regional group and vice versa. So that's our next step. And I met with Colleen from Public Health this morning, who's also sat on that regional panel for the opioid settlement, and we will work to develop the players that should be at the table in that group and convene a meeting with us soon, probably towards the end of October. Tamara from Summit County Commissioner had sent over a list of proposed stakeholders for the local groups. We'll get that sent out hopefully in the next week or so.
Awesome.
So that's the work on the opioid settlement that we've been doing regionally.
Nice.
And I just wanted to share a little update because I figured this was an opportune time.
Yeah, thank you. I'd like to just remind folks of upcoming dates and events. Tomorrow, it's pretty exciting. The JVC Joint Budget Committee is coming to visit CMC and the fire department activity, the training facility, the new fire station, and as they're allocating funds for fuel mitigation and local fire agency support, it's a good opportunity for us to show them the work that we've been doing, and also regarding like the development of those partnerships with the fire department and wildfire mitigation. Next Wednesday, October 13th, we have the CWPP map walk, community map walk for the Community Wildfire Protection Plan. That is at Freight from 6 to 8 p.m. in the evening. We'll have a lot of our again, partners there who've been working on not only the process of developing the mapping and the values for Lake County, but those who have been longtime partners in forest health in Lake County. Tonight, we will join City Council to talk about housing, and I think Michael from SCEDD is going to join us there. We'll talk about the DOLA grant and the work that we plan with that. I think that's it. That trigger anything else coming up? It's a busy couple weeks, and 3 things didn't seem like it covered it, but
That did trigger this in terms of public meetings. There's this Saturday from 11 to 2, the CJK Milling Company, which is the company proposing to restart or start up the milling operation just south, I guess, of the wastewater treatment plant. So just off 24 south of town. They have a sort of open house at the fish hatchery, and that's Saturday from 11 to 2, just to discuss their plans.
all right. Thank you. Any commissioner clarifications? I have nothing.
Nothing for me, thank you.
None for me.
Okay. And public comments on items that are not on the agenda. The board and Patty, our clerk, is sitting in the BOCC room. We have no public joining us here. And Chris and Janine, do you all have anything other than what you're here to listen or contribute for on the agenda items?
Not that I can think of.
All right.
Nope.
All righty. All right, hearing no public comment, then we will go into new business. And our first item is a public hearing for the transfer of ownership from Tres Coronas LLC for La Mina Tacos and Mariscos, 102 Mountain View Drive, Leadville, Colorado. So at 1:13, I'll go ahead and open the public hearing. Patty, do you want to give us a little bit of background here on the transfer of ownership process? And
That's just sold, or we're leasing it, I guess, but selling the business.
okay,
So we need to transfer the liquor license. They've applied for the hotel restaurant liquor license. The one that's currently in place, that's why we can do a transfer. We don't have to start completely over because the premises is already licensed. So this is just a transfer of ownership. It appears to be in order. Any fees have been paid. The notice was posted at the premises and it was put in the newspapers.
I'd ask for any public comment, but we still do not have anyone physically joining us in the room. Any public comment on Zoom on the transfer of ownership? Hearing nothing, I'll presume there is no other public comment. And I'll close the public input portion of the public hearing and entertain a motion for approval.
I'll move that we approve the transfer of ownership for Tres Coronas LLC for La Mina Tacos and Mariscos at 102 Mountain View Drive, Leadville, Colorado 80461.
A second?
Okay, any further discussion?
None for me, thank
That's for
you.
me.
Okay, hearing none, all those in favor? Aye.
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 All right. And at 1:15, we'll close the public hearing. Okay, moving into new business. Number 1 on our list, we have, and I apologize, Chris and Janine, and for those of you who will watch this perhaps later, I did not include that public hearing portion before the list of new business. So apologies on that, but it had been posted online. So moving into new business, item number 1, we have TANF Block Grant allocation. Janine?
Hi, thank you. So the reason I brought this before you all today is that we have a couple of options with our TANF funding that I'd like to propose this next year. So I wanted to throw this out to you all and get some thoughts and at least explain it. So what I sent to you, and I don't know, can I show this on my screen? Would it be helpful to do that?
Sorry, I was muted. Sure, you should be able to.
Okay. All right, so this is the document that we received from the state, and just bear with me as I explain it, and then I'm happy to answer questions. It gets a little bit tricky, but as I understand more and more about the finer details of our TANF funding, I'm going to propose that we sort of work this in a way that comes out to get a maximum benefit for us. And again, this is something that larger counties have down to a fine art. And I think small and medium counties are just learning how to do this. So wanted to share this with you all. So what we got was a letter that said we need to make a choice. And we need to choose whether we want MOE relief or not. And so what you're seeing is, and the reason that we have this option is because when the state reaches certain metrics in our work participation rate in Colorado Works, we are given the option to have a relief of our MOE at the county level. And the MOE is maintenance of effort. It's the required amount that counties have to contribute to their Colorado Works programs at the county level. And just a reminder that Colorado Works and TANF are synonymous. So when we, as a state, when we reach this certain metric, counties are given the option of having this MOE relief. And what this means is essentially counties could be relieved of their obligation to contribute this maintenance of effort. And what you see on here is what it would look like if we accept the MOE relief. We would get relieved of the $25,000 maintenance of effort here on that top line. And we would have just the federal funds for our allocation, which would be the $195,000. Or we could decline the MOE relief, and we could, and on the next line, we could decline the MOE relief, and our MOE that we would be paying would be $33,000. So essentially, if you accept the relief, you get, it's a lower MOE requirement, and you get that relieved. Or you can decline it and you pay the $33,000. And then what would happen is we would have the $229,000 to work with in our county, 195 of it federal funds and 33,000 county funds. So we would have that 229. Typically, and in the past, we've had these options. I think we've had it, I know we had it last year. I can't remember if we had it the year before, but since I've been here, we've had this option a few times. I typically would decline the MOE relief because if we accept the MOE relief, we end up in a lower allocation. So that means I would have $195,000 to work with for our Colorado Works budget instead of the 229. This year, I am going to propose that we decline the MOE or that we accept the MOE relief, and we have less maintenance of effort to contribute in this allocation. And the reason I am proposing that is because I would like to simultaneously propose that we purchase TANF funds again, as we did the last 2 years, and purchase them a little bit more than more than we've done before. And I just wanted to show you how that MOE breaks down. So if we decide that we want to accept the MOE relief, we save ourselves $25,000, which you see here. If we do that and we end up with the 195 here, I also am going to propose then that we buy $250,000 of TANF money from another county. And that happens when other counties are underspent in their TANF dollars. They can sell their TANF dollars to other counties. And when we buy that, we then do have to pay the MOE on that. So if we bought 250,000, we would be paying the MOE of 37,000. And just to give you a sense, if we decline this MOE relief and we buy TANF money and we pay both MOEs, we're paying 62,000. What I'm proposing is that we decline the MOE and save ourselves this 25 up here, but then we purchase 250 and pay this 37 MOE. And then we have a larger TANF budget to work with, but we're paying less MOE in the end. So we're paying 37,000 for roughly 250,000 worth of TANF dollars. And we're saving ourselves that MOE. I would not recommend that we not pay this MOE unless we purchase the 250. Did I lose folks?
A little bit.
So then our total TANF, sorry, Janine, so then our total TANF budget would be the 195 plus the 250 we would purchase from an adjacent county. And then the cost to us would be the 37,000.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
We would.
So instead of paying 62 for both our original MOE, our original TANF allocation with the MOE and the 250 we're purchasing with that MOE, we'd be paying 62 for that. If we skip the MOE up here, but we pay it on what we purchased, we're only paying 37. Okay, did somebody else have a question?
Go ahead.
No, I think that makes sense. I just ultimately I want, because I think you maybe misspoke and said you recommended declining or accepting, but I think it's accepting the relief, right?
So she.
Yes.
So she,
That's what I mean.
Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
So she had said
Yes.
that previously, in previous years, she would normally accept MOE.
We would normally decline it.
Or
You
decline.
decline the relief and accept paying it. Yeah. It's a confusing. Yeah.
And is the relief, is that always an option, or is that just a COVID thing?
No, the option happens when the statewide metrics have been met. And when we meet a certain metric across the state, the reward for that is that counties have this option of not having to pay their MOE.
Okay. And then that fee of paying that 37,000, that's formulated because of the worth, the value that you're setting in the looking for the $250,000 value to purchase. Is that just something that fee is then associated with us, or the MOE that's
The way,
to the TANF dollars that we
the other county.
Yeah. So Janine, is the 37,000 going into our TANF budget as like a county match, or does it get, or is it payable to the state or the other county? So it goes in as the match.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. So 37,000 of that 250 goes to the county that we purchase it from. Correct. Because that's essentially when you purchase, you say, I agree to purchase it from you and pay your MOE. And that's how the purchase is made. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So our TANF budget would be then around $445,000 ish.
Yes. And the reason I'm recommending that, and that I'm recommending a $250,000 purchase from another county, is because one of the primary reasons is that we had a large grant end in our wraparound program of $80,000 a year. And we're going to need to supplement the salaries that some of the salaries that were paid out of that grant. We're going to need to use some TANF funds for that, which you can use TANF for wraparound. And that's the primary reason. That's about 52,000. And then we have been able to use our TANF budget for a variety of other things, including, that summer childcare. And it also covers overage and child welfare. So it allows us to do some more things in our community as we see that come up. So that's why I'm proposing that we utilize those TANF dollars for that.
It's a very smart for us to increase the budget. It's a very minimal cost for what we get in return.
Yeah, we actually save ourselves money by, you're right, accepting the relief and not paying the MOE on the original allocation, but then purchasing some dollars from another county and paying the MOE at that time. So in a sense, I'm asking for your permission to decline the relief and to, when the time comes, do this 250 purchase from another county and pay the MOE at that time. And then I know what I'm working with in my budget for this year. That's what I'll put in.
Okay, so we want to decline, we want to accept the MOE relief for 2021-2022.
Yes.
2022. So accept the MOE. Okay, so I feel comfortable making a motion.
Okay,
So I will make a motion that we accept the MOE relief for fiscal year 2021-22 for a total of $195,438 federal fund dollars, with the option to purchase $250,000 of TANF funds from another county once they become available.
any further discussion?
No, just thank you for being so savvy with and resourceful with this, Janine. It's such an asset to our community. So thank you very much.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm happy to talk about what we can spend the funds on as we go.
Okay. And will that 250 come from one county, do you suspect, Janine, or will that be pieced together?
I don't know. It might. It
Okay.
might. I know, for example, last year Pueblo County had $500,000 and a couple different counties purchased from them. We did 100 from them. So that's a good question. It may come from a couple different sources, or it may come from one. It depends on how they're closing out their years.
Okay. Okay. And I suspect that then that MOE paid may vary a little bit from the 37,000, or you don't think so?
It might, it shouldn't, because
Okay.
that's the MOE they would be charged by the state.
For that amount of money.
And so that's what we would be, yeah, it's roughly around 15%. So it should be,
Okay.
it should be comparable.
Okay. Great. All right. All those in favor? Aye.
Hi,
Thank you, Janine.
she's the next one too.
All right. Number 2 on the agenda, cybersecurity grant vendor contract. Take it away, Janine.
Yeah, so you all approved the vendor. This is the contract. I can pull it up if you want to go over it. I think you guys got it. Chris drafted it up for us. We made some minor revisions to the statement of work last week after visiting with the contractor, but it's set and ready to go. And this is for the Northwest Cybersecurity Grant Project that's HICPA funded.
Okay.
Chris, did you want to add?
Well, I was just going to ask, I know that we sent that to the contractor. I haven't seen anything come back, so I don't know, has she signed off on it yet?
She was signing off on it today. She had to get a version of I think we sent it in a Google Doc format that she couldn't open, so we resent it to her. So, and that's my question to you all. What's the process? Do you guys want to see the contract and sign off on it, or does the vendor sign first and then I bring it to you?
Yeah, so typically it's the vendor needs to sign off on the contract, and then it comes to the commissioners to then countersign and have recorded. But in this instance, so my suggestion would be if we don't have her signed version yet, maybe go on and approve it pending final execution.
Okay, and I may even have it in my email. So,
So yeah, once you get the
Okay.
signed copy back, that way you could just send it over to Sarah or, one of the
Okay.
commissioners to sign off on.
okay.
Yep. All right, well, I'll entertain a motion for the approval of the cybersecurity grant vendor contract pending final execution.
So moved?
Second,
Any further discussion?
No, thank you.
none for me.
Okay, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
I,
Very good. Thanks, Janine.
Thanks, Janine.
Yes, you're welcome.
All right, and number 3 is liquor license renewal for Cooper Hill Ski Area Incorporated. Patty, I presume you have all the paperwork and payments?
I do.
All right.
Everything is in good working order. They did get, because of COVID this year, they have given to everybody that applied for a liquor license, and so this have been waived, but didn't waive locally. So we get our $75.
Okay. All right.
All right, I will make a motion that we approve resolution 2021-23.
Nope,
Oh,
1
sorry.
4, 3.
Three,
The
sorry.
liquor license, that's
There-
okay.
I was reading it and I was like, oh, that's weird. Resolution. Okay, sorry. The liquor license renewal for Cooper Hill Ski Area Incorporated.
I'll second,
Okay, any further discussion?
No, thank you.
none for me.
All right, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
I,
Now, number 4 is the resolution 2021-23, resolution to partner with Colorado Mountain College in applying for and distributing the Colorado Opportunity Scholarships, or COSI, COSI of 2021-2022 matching funds scholarship. This is a renewal in a partnership with CMC, and I don't recall the full amount value, but I feel like it was in the ballpark of $5,000.
Let's see here. Approve CMC. It approves CMC to apply for on behalf of Lake County for $7,434 in matching scholarship funds through this grant opportunity.
Okay, excellent, thank you.
Mhm.
I have no questions or concerns over this.
No, I don't either, especially since we've done this so many
Yeah.
times in the past. I don't feel like there's. So I will make oh my gosh. I will make a motion that we adopt resolution 2021-23, a resolution to partner with Colorado Mountain College in applying for and distributing the Colorado Opportunity Scholarship, COSI, 2021-2022 matching funds scholarship.
second,
All right, there's no further discussion.
no,
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
I,
Okay, moving right along. Number 5, contract with AD Solutions for inclusivity and diversity training. Go ahead.
Yeah, this is for me. So Human Resources, Hannah and Human Resources and I met with AD Solutions for some inclusivity and diversity training within our workforce. And so it will provide for our staff and our director level staff, and then out into our employee staff, the necessary training and tools for inclusivity and diversity within the workforce and in customer service situations, so that we are appropriately acknowledging people and being cognizant of how to be diverse and inclusive in hiring practices, and in our customer service. So the cost of this is $4,800, which we do have in the HR budget, but it'll be a series of trainings that will go over the course of the next 3 months in elected officials and directors meetings, to provide that training to directors and elected officials, and then out to their direct reports. So we just kind of felt like, there was so much political turmoil back in 2020 with all the racial tensions in 2020. And we had made a statement. And so part of making that statement is following up with an actionable item. And so this is the next step for us. So,
Excellent.
yeah, so Hannah and I felt very comfortable with AD Solutions, that they would be able to provide us with appropriate training. They've worked with Lake County Public Health and Build a Generation previously for their trainings as well. So they've got a very good relationship in Lake County and a robust training plan
Okay.
for us.
And just for clarity, I see Chris unmuted. Do we have, sorry, I don't recall, do we have the actual contract or should we craft a motion for
So
approval of the
So
still pending?
I did send Chris the Google link. I don't know if you've had a chance to review it, Chris, but we can definitely do that pending legal review.
And actually, I was just calling because I don't see where I received that. I'll have to search and see if somehow it got snagged in my my spam folder or something like that. That was gonna be my question. I hadn't seen the contract yet. So let me see if I can find it. And if not, Kayla, I'll follow up with you to get you to send it.
It wasn't, it didn't come through in the email as an attachment. It came through just as a link embedded in the email. So I'll just resend the email and highlight the link. Because it's just a Google Doc.
So I'll entertain a motion for the approval of the contract with AD Solutions for inclusivity and diversity training, pending legal review and full execution, giving the chair the authority to sign once finalized.
So moved.
A second.
All right. No, if there's no further discussion,
No.
All those in favor? Aye.
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 Great. Number 6, contract with Mike Conlin for the continuation of work on the Crossroads Trail. Like we kind of mentioned in the beginning, and I will actually copy this again for the few folks that have joined us, because I don't think you can see what's put in the chat until you join. But this is, we had approved, we'd reviewed and approved kind of a continuation of scope of work for getting pretty like 90% done with the Crossroads Trail that Mike Conlin has been working on through and with the COSI partners. And so this is a similar motion to approve that contract with him pending legal review and authorizing the chair's signature of that.
Commissioner Mudge, I was just going to mention, I believe he's already signed. I drafted the contract and I think he's already signed off on it. So I think it's just approval now by the commissioners so that you can go in and sign.
Perfect. Thank you, Chris.
All right. I don't really feel that I have any questions on that. I think that was just straightforward.
Yeah, you kept us in the loop. I'm working through that.
All right. I will make a motion that we approve the contract with Mike Conlin for the continuation of the work on the Crossroads Trail.
Second.
Okay. If there's no further discussion, all of those in favor? Aye.
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 Great. Thank you.
Ew.
And item 7, contract with the Southern Colorado Economic Development District, or SCEDD, for the Affordable Housing Planning Technical Assistance. Again, this is the same situation. We've approved a scope and approved engagement with SCEDD for the work that was included in the scope provided to us. And so I think just looking to wrap up all the loose ends with the approval of the contract. Go ahead, Chris.
I was just going to mention that we did just get just a little while ago their signed version. They signed off on the contract I sent them for professional services, so without any changes. So it has been signed and is ready for y'all's approval.
Thank you, Chris.
Thanks, Chris. All right. Does anybody else have any questions?
No.
I don't.
No.
Okay.
Thanks.
I will make a motion that we approve the contract with Southern Colorado Economic Development District for affordable housing planning, technical assistance, and consideration of the Lake County. Oh, wait, sorry, that's number 8. My bad. Just
You got it.
end it,
Technical
end it
assistance.
technical assistance, Patty.
All right, if there's no further discussion, all those in favor? Aye.
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 Very good. Okay. Moving on to 8, consideration of Lake County Open Space Initiative fiscal agent agreement with the Lake County Community Fund. So Lake County Open Space Initiative utilizes the Lake County Community Fund as a fiscal agent. In the past, previously they were working and operating under administrative support from CMC. And we, as a group, decided that the community fund made a lot of sense to move under. And so this is just the county taking a little bit of acknowledgement and responsibility of being kind of a point person on making sure that those agreements are signed. There's a 5% admin fee, I think.
Administrative fee.
Yeah, I do have a question though with the recreation fund that we created last meeting. Would it be appropriate to insert LaCosi under that for any contributions and distributions for, because primarily the balance of the LaCosi fund is to pay for the facilitation in those monthly meetings, and then some of those ancillary conversations and requests to attend and meet on priorities. We could explore that.
We
or-
could,
yeah.
we could. I don't know, was LaCosi under Placer at one point in time?
No,
Or were they weren't ever
no,
under
because it's
Placer?
not like an entity.
Right,
It's not a nonprofit,
okay.
but maybe that's just something to explore.
Yeah,
Guess we could ask LCCF if that is that actually a cost saving, or is it just very minimal for them to have separate accounts? Maybe it's easier to keep it separate if they sort of originated in different places.
Yeah,
But if there's a savings for them.
we can ask them when they come for their budget presentation in the next week or so, and maybe that they can provide us with some information.
yeah. I think also one of the intents of having the LaCosi under LCCF was maybe the development of some of those priorities of the community fund in natural resource or any donations that might come in to go towards open space management or wildlife interests, and wondering if that would fit well under there. I'm just not exactly sure what the development or the process might be there, if that's like developed much yet at the community fund.
It might be worth exploring. Maybe Chris can look into that with us
Okay,
in terms of if that's something that would be acceptable for us to call.
okay. Okay,
I don't know what kind of like financial liability or anything that presents, or if it's like part of a long-term plan for, like, would LaCosi eventually dissolve into an open space rec management under our current rec department, or?
well, that's another good point, because I think we've talked about, or we've seen the proposal from Central Colorado Conservancy
Yeah,
to incorporate some of the conservation district activity, and maybe LaCosi ends up actually being an initiative under that too. So I guess we have a few things to
but
consider.
I think we can probably talk through that maybe Friday morning at our budget hearing or our budget work session, because we'd want to talk through some of that CCC stuff, but I wonder if it makes sense to like have a fund specific to open space and conservation, or like to earmark those funds and pull separately. I don't know, maybe that's an opportunity too.
Yeah, okay. I'll take a note of that. Thank you.
Yeah,
A liability question is interesting, but I would think if they're just the fiscal agent, you're not taking on liability for their operations.
yeah.
Right, no, they just
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
do
They just need
the,
a place to put their money.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and they collect a fee.
And have that umbrella nonprofit,
Yeah,
you know.
so is this something we could maybe punt then to our next meeting to see if it makes more sense for us to just?
I mean, since they have funds in there now, LaCosi is actually behind on signing
Okay,
the continued agreement. So I think
Okay.
I'd ask that we, you know, just approve the authority of the chair to sign that and continue with the funds in there currently, and then figure out where that might be better housed.
okay, okay, that makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah, and we could even make it, I mean, it could be at the discretion of LCCF.
Yeah.
Where to, exactly how. Line the right word.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know if it
Yeah,
should be at their
discretion,
discretion,
yeah.
but I think we have to figure out what that relationship might evolve if we do engage with CCC or whatnot. But and LaCosi is part of the 1% program. CCC, LaCosi, and the Cloud City Wheelers get that funding, so we do need to kind of maintain an account for all that to go into
okay.
currently. But
Okay,
This is Chris. I was just gonna mention, there are, just in response to Commissioner Fiedler's comments or the comments about, you know, at the LCCF's discussion, there are different types of funds that they have. And so what's proposed with this is just the fiscal agent agreement, whereas the community fund would just manage essentially the funds. They would not have any input as to how they're used or that type of thing.
all right. Hearing no objection, I'll entertain a motion to approve the chair to have authority to sign the fiscal agreement with Lake County Community Fund on behalf of the Lake County Open Space Initiative.
so moved.
Second,
All right, and if there's no further discussion,
No,
all those in favor? Aye.
I,
I,
You. And that is, okay, last we have reports, minutes, bills, payroll, and so I'll entertain an approval of the bills and payroll for pay period ending October 24th, 2021.
so moved.
second.
Okay, any further discussion?
No, thank you.
All
Thanks.
right, all those in favor? Aye.
I,
I,
Very good. And Anne, you've joined us. Do you have anything you need to ask us? Maybe not. Okay.
she might have just been on for the housing. That's good.
oh,
Oh, okay. Oh, she said hi, no mic. Okay, no microphone. Yep, that was it. Okay.
okay,
No, that was that, and we just we were a little clumsy in creating efficiency in our approval of scope of work and contracting, but it's one of the same. We just didn't have an actual contract in place, so everything's approved, no worries there, and we will get together this evening with City Council. All right, if there's no other matters to bring up,
no, none for me. I just wanna let you guys know, Patty and I are working together to get the minutes
oh,
that we
awesome.
may not have approved through the summer, to make sure that her and I have the same list of minutes that we need to approve,
Okay,
so that we can make sure we didn't miss anything, and then we'll get that together for the next meeting.
oh, great.
Or the meeting after, depending on her election schedule, and we can go from there.
Okay,
So,
thank you. All right, perfect. Well, at 1:49 then, we will adjourn.
thank you.
Thanks, Chris.
Thanks, Chris.